So this photograph I selected because it's personal to me. The young woman who appears on the right was born Shulamit Perlmutter in the Polish town of Chorochów. And I got to know her much later in life when she was a Holocaust survivor who volunteered at the museum in Washington. She had made her name into an English name, Charlene, and her married name, Schiff. This photograph is taken right after the war, and what you see is a young woman, a teenage girl, with a friend and the friend's daughter, and it looks like a cheerful scene, but it really betrays nothing of the horrors that Charlene endured during the war. Her story is very complicated, but I want to focus on one part of it. After being imprisoned in the local ghetto with her mother and sister, and we need to remember at this point Charlene is just a girl, a young teenager, she and her mother and sister managed to escape, and they're trying to get to a hiding place, to the safe home of people they had known before the war who they hoped would be willing to take the risk to take them in and hide them from the Germans. But in the meantime, there is a liquidation happening, according to German terminology. They are emptying the ghetto of Jews. There are shootings happening, and Charlene and her mother and sister are hiding for several days, hiding in the grass near a river, just in panic. They are there for so long that they are falling asleep, in and out of wakefulness, waiting for a moment when they can safely run to their hiding place. And one time, Charlene wakes up and her mother and sister are gone. She doesn't know what happened to them, and she would never find out what happened to them. Why would they have left her? Where did they go? She never heard from them again. Charlene spent the next 2 years, a girl, alone, hiding in terror in the forest. She had no one with her. She had no one to protect her. She had no one to feed her. She was freezing cold in the winter. She was running for shelter. She described herself as living like an animal, scavenging for food, eating whatever she could find. Disgusting. I can't even really describe it to you, but she just wanted to survive. Her will to live was so strong that she lived like this in the woods until she was finally liberated by Soviet troops when they passed through the area early in 1945. Hers is a story of incredible resilience. How many times could she have died? How many times could she have given up and just wandered out just to make the suffering end? But she had incredible strength and courage and an insistence on living. And she did survive. She is the only member of her family who lived. When I knew her, she was a woman with a big smile and good cheer, and it's impossible to reconcile that with what she endured in life. But she went on to marry an American soldier, to have a son, to have a family, and also to be willing to revisit this terrible, unimaginable nightmare of a childhood in order to try to teach others about tolerance, about the value of democracy. So this photo, again, you would never know what had happened to her when you're just looking at this photograph, but she is probably the most courageous person that I have ever met.